Hey everybody, what's up, beautiful people? It's the Rosalie Elliott Show, all about world music and psychology, and I'm happy you're here. We are going to listen to Eminem and Jelly Roll. Pretty brand new. You guys have asked for me to look into it. You guys ready? How deep is this going to get? I don't know. We'll find out. This is big, y'all.
Daddy? Daddy.
Get butt in here when she gets.
Come eat.
I mean, I'm so tired.
Just come eat.
Man, I'll be in there in a minute, I promise. Stop.
Well, then wake up.
Shut the door.
Somebody save me from myself. Has been so long living in hell.
Another pill as I start to spiral. Message to my daughters, I don't even deserve the father title. Haley, I'm so sorry, I know I wasn't there for your first guitar recital. Didn't walk you down the aisle. Missed the birth of your first child. Your first podcast, looking down. Sweetie, I'm so proud of how you turned out. Sorry that I chose drugs and put them above you. Sorry that I didn't love you enough to give them up how to fuck to. And I love you more than a pill looking up to the ceiling from this floor under wheel.
Somebody save me from myself. Has been so long living in hell. They say my lifestyle is bad for my health. It's the only thing that seems to help.
I wonder why he's pointing up here. If that's, a reference to the only thing that seems to help is the drugs, and Jelly Roll's pointing up because for some other people, God is the only thing that really can save them or help them. I don't know, what that pointing reference is as he's singing about. It's the only thing that can help. This is heavy.
Elena, sorry that you had to hear me fall in the bathroom. Sorry that I missed you graduate. Nate, I should just congratulate you on being a dad too. Carter and Liam, look at you. Little bro, sorry I left you. Sorry that I'll never get to hold or hug my little nephews. Stevie, I'm sorry I missed you. Grow up and I didn't get to be the dad I wanted to be to you. Things I wanted to see you do. This is my song from me to you. Sorry I gave up, but I'm just so defeated. God, what the fuck you want me to do?
Somebody save me from myself. Has been so long living in hell. They say my lifestyle is bad for my health. It's the only thing that seems to help.
I've been staring at the video of Haley almost daily of her playing the guitar in hopes maybe that'll give me the power to fight. But the addict in me's a coward. He told me that I can't do it. Had a second chance, blew it. It's like I'm stuck inside an alternate reality, but I know I'll turn it around and be able to walk her and Laney one day to the altar as proud as can be. Right now I'm just weak as I fall further down in this deep hole and farther in the ground that I sink. As they lower me in my coffin, I feel the tears all falling down on my cheek.
I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time on me. I'm so damaged beyond repair. Life is shattered, my hopes and my dreams. I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time on me. I'm so damaged beyond repair. Life is shattered, my hopes and my dreams.
And next to us?
Haley.
And how old are you?
12.
You've been playing guitar for how long?
About 3 months.
Oh gosh, this was heavy. I should have figured this was going to be heavy. Oh my gosh. There was a couple of details that were a really good touch. For example, Jelly Roll in the end singing in a muffled way, distorted, muffled, almost as if he's singing from a coffin. Too late, I'm a lost cause. Somebody saved me from myself and I shattered all my dreams. And at that point, he's speaking in past tense. So this is beyond, somebody saved me. I want to make it through. Life has shattered my hopes and my dreams. It sounds muffled, like from a coffin, from behind the glass. So disconnected from reality. And I always want to end with hope somehow. But the reality is that a lot of people have lost their lives to addiction, and a lot of family members have to live with those choices and have to live with their lost one, their loved and lost one gone. And so it doesn't always end up with the person breaking through the glass and now being on the other side of the room. A lot of times it is from the outside looking in. And I feel torn. I feel dual things, if you will, many things to be honest, but two sides of it. On one hand, I feel empathy for the addict and for that suffering, the pain it must be to say, this is the only thing that seems to help me, numb my pain, give me peace, ease my suffering, and saying somebody save me, I need help. It makes me feel sorry for, it reminds me of that the addict is just as much hurting, that the addict is just as much suffering, and what it must be like to have wasted a life that you will never get back. I mean, talk about death anxiety, talk about existential fears, trying to figure out the meaning of life, being afraid of being lonely and losing your freedom, not just physical freedom to live life to the fullest the way you feel you should have. Regret, right? That's some of the worst pain you can have, because it's something you can never get back. We can always do better today. We always have a choice today, yes. But you never get back a certain time. And to forgive yourself, to accept that that's part of your story, to redeem that, to come to peace with it when you can't undo something. I think that really taps into our death anxieties, because just like death is very finite and very final and very uncertain, regardless of your belief of what comes after, I think when you realize that you've lost something permanently, you've not lost years or time with loved ones, or you've missed your children growing up and you will never get that back, even if you have a better relationship with them now going forward, that really taps into that mortality of ours, that finiteness, that reminder that we're not immortal, that we don't have unlimited access to time and to second chances. And so it breaks my heart for the addict, and I just see the broken side of it, the suffering. At the same time, and the reason why I say I feel twofold is because at the same time, as a child of an addict and as someone who has seen the destruction that can cause, I'm also hesitant to, I'm tempted to take the word save me as with a grain of salt. I'm hesitant to see that as a genuine plea for help, and I'm hesitant and cautious not to interpret that as self-pity. And this is just me being honest, self-disclosure. When we talk about therapists, we talk about psychology, there is a need for healthy self-disclosure in measure. A therapist shouldn't just dump on his patient. That's toxic and abuse of power and lack of boundaries. But there's something to be said about authentic, genuine conversation where the patient can feel safe and where there is genuine connection for the benefit of the patient, of course. And I want the benefit in this case to be for you as listeners. So hear me when I say I'm still bringing in subjective emotions and experience here. But I want to, bring you education and look at this as objective as possible. I just want to preface that is part of it for me also, that there is caution as a human being who's experienced some of this to say, is this just self-pity, saying, oh, nothing else helps, somebody save me. But that person is not going to do what they need to do to ask for help, or do what they need to do to fix it. The flip side of that, however, is that when somebody says, somebody save me, that is already one step in the right direction. Already moving past lying to yourselves and others, which is often what addicts do, and denying that there is a problem, saying, this is the only thing that seems to help. Being honest with what this substance, this thing in your life is to you, the relationship you have to that thing, that already is acknowledging it. And then to cry out for help and say, somebody help, save me, to me shows that there is a desire to be helped, to change. And that is a wonderful, great step in the right direction. So when it comes to addiction, there is this need for wisdom and for this dance to not just now pity the addict, because there are two victims here. There are the victims that have suffered at the hand of the addict, like the children here at the hand of their dad. but there's also the addict who is suffering. And both will need saving, if you will. Both will need help in different ways. That's why there's Alcohol Anonymous and there's the Anon, right? Anonymous, I believe it's called, for family members of alcoholics. And that's just one example of when it comes to the whole world. All of them need help. And so I empathize with both these children suffering and witnessing this, but I also cry for this adult, this person who is hurting, who has all these regrets, and who is on the outside watching their children watch TV by themselves because dad won't get up out of bed. Watching these kids experience life, their first guitar lesson, their wedding, their first child, because they can't break free. Addiction is a disease. It's not just I was just too lazy to stop. And I felt somehow, I think the child in me felt vindicated a bit by hearing him say, I do love you more than the pill. I'm sorry I didn't choose you over the pill. And I as someone who has seen addiction, I can empathize with that hurt as a child or teenager, young adult, to feel like, why am I not more important to you? Why am I not worth the fight to fight this addiction? Why do you seem to love this substance more? And I think that sometimes it's a very valid feeling, a very valid response when you have an addict in your life. Why am I not worth fighting for and getting rid of this substance for? But at the same time, I think we also forget that it's not necessarily because they love that thing more than us. It's because they're literally addicted, not only emotionally and mentally, physically, chemically. There are withdrawals, physical responses to not having the substance in their system. There's a whole holistic approach that is necessary to rid yourself of this substance beyond the chemicals that are being released in your body that interact with your hormones and your system and now becoming addictive and creating that reward cycle and the pattern we find with a lot of addiction. You can have it with pornography, with gaming, a lot with social media. You get a dopamine fix, you have some type of response. It feels good or it eases pain or it numbs you, whatever the case. And that feels good. You want it more. And then you become literally addicted to that effect, to the chemicals, to the substance, to the result. And so it's beyond just a habit, right? There's chemicals involved. This is a whole somatic experience. But then there's also an emotional relationship to the substance beyond this feels good physically, also what it does for you emotionally, right? Where it fills voids, where it covers up parental trauma or hurts. There's a whole relationship, a toxic one, to the substance that needs to be healed holistically. And so there's so many aspects here of people that are hurting, both the children, the parents. To hear him again singing muffled like from the coffin, I hope is a wake-up call. And even the way the song ends, it doesn't end with, but I'm so glad that I broke free and I was healed. In Eminem's case, my understanding is that he did struggle with addiction and he did overcome it. And he was actually at his daughter's wedding. Was Eminem at Haley's wedding? I believe so. Yeah, there's footage of it. Okay, so he was at her wedding, okay? So what he was singing here, I feel what he was singing, and I think in the lyrics he even said something about an alternate reality or something like that. What he was singing and working out here was what it would have looked like if he would have not gotten help. He would have not been at her wedding. He would have missed all these milestones. And some of it may have been what actually happened, right? Him being on drugs in bed, not being there for his kids, therefore the need to ask her for forgiveness. I missed your first guitar recital. There were things he actually failed at and missed because of drugs. But in Eminem's case, he did get help and work on what it needed to be worked on so that he can now be there for her and be at her wedding and stuff. But here I feel like this is the alternate reality of him looking from the outside in if he would have not gotten help. And I think this is a powerful song because there are still very many who are living this exact life who need to get help, who need to have a wake-up call and see this and go, this is what it's going to end like. If you keep down this path, this is what it will end like. And you will have all the regrets and there will be tears flowing down your face as they put you in the ground because of everything you missed that you can never get back. Perhaps it can also feel like a vindication to some kids of addicts, of people who have lost family members, to look at it from the lens of their addicted family member or friend and how much they were also suffering. Now, that doesn't excuse the bad choices they made, but perhaps allows us to not live in the type of bitterness, but understanding that they were sick, they were suffering, and perhaps being able to find some type of solace in that. Not necessarily closure, but solace to say this person was suffering, the addict was suffering. Maybe giving the victims of this also some comfort in a way. Yeah, it's a powerful song and I hope a wake-up call. I think this was absolutely beautiful and spoke to me too personally, but also I think for many people this can be a powerful reminder. And Jelly Roll, by the way, homeboy can belt. That rasp in his voice and that grit and the way he can just belt some of those notes. I'm still new to the world of Jelly Roll, but I love that duality here of Eminem's beautiful cadence flows in the bars and the emotionality and the intensity of what he was saying and speaking of and rapping about. in contrast, then, that beautiful blend and how it complemented Jelly Roll's almost plea, suffering cry, somebody save me, as he was singing. Powerful combination. What do you think about this one? How does it impact you? What do you think? Subscribe, and I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!